Hello, I'm going to go through the results of a metadata prioritization survey we sent out recently. But before we jump into that, we've been gradually expanding the metadata we collect and have seen some increases in registration. We have, as of yesterday, 144.5 almost million total records, up from 140-ish at the end of the year. So that's a healthy increase. Some highlights are that while many members are still in the planning stages, we're seeing more records with more IDs in the affiliations. We're seeing more abstracts, references, and grant records being registered as well. We're also seeing an increase in data set records. Some are for data, but many are for not. We'll touch on that a bit later. One of the more exciting things we've gotten to do lately is we sent out a survey to most members a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen this QR code on the screen links directly to it, and hopefully someone can drop a link in the chat. This is the first time we've really done a survey like this. With the intention is to help prioritize our work. There's a lot we want to do, a lot you want us to do, but we really want to make sure we're focusing on the projects that will have the most impact for now. This survey is intended to be filled out by those who send us metadata, and I hope to survey metadata users soon as well. If you haven't taken the survey, please do. We have a fair number of responses already, but not comprehensive level of responses. So if you haven't filled it out, please do it right now. It's open until May 18th, but for this call, I am going to run through what we have so far because we've gotten a large chunk of the responses. We haven't done an in-depth analysis yet, but the answers so far have told us a lot. So I wanted to know how our members view the metadata they send us. Do they just want to send the required basics to get a DOI registered? Do they want to send more metadata in general? The news is good. Only 15.2% answered required minimums. Over half want to send as much as possible. 7% want to send more, and I can guess who some of those numbers are. And 22% want to send just the basics. So why only send the basics? Why, if you don't send as much metadata as possible, what was keeping you from fully contributing? 14% want to provide more but don't feel like they can. 27% don't see the point in sending more metadata. 30% don't think the additional metadata, such as beyond the basics, such as funder metadata, references, abstracts, updates, etc. They don't think they're relevant to the records they register. And 28% want to know more about providing more metadata, which is great. I also left space for respondents to share what their roadblocks are, and this, we'll take a little more digging into, but the responses fell into 3 categories: lack of time, lack of staff, lack of training or knowledge, which overall to me means lack of resources. Not a huge surprise. I don't think anyone, maybe there are some people who just flat out don't want to send metadata, but I think generally it's more like it can't be a priority because you don't have the resources. This confirms a lot of suspicions on our end and helps us know we're going in the right direction with some of the projects we're planning. So I asked about a few of the projects we're planning. We excluded grant and preprint projects as we're in touch with those communities, and we have a lot of feedback already and good channels of communication. There are some other things that aren't listed. These are the ones we need to know about now before we move forward. Maybe they require a lot of resources, or we have a reason to think no one's going to pick these up immediately. They're all valuable initiatives and we hope to support them. We just really want to know who needs this now, as opposed to, oh, this is great, it'll be useful soon when I get to it. So there were some clear preferences. The project with the most overall yes, or yes if my service provider supports it, responses was citation types. That's specifically for within, if you send us a list of citations, you can label each citation with the type of citation it is. You can say, this is a data citation, this is a software citation, this is a journal article, that sort of thing. That was followed by expanding our support for multilingual metadata. We'd really like to do that, and expand support for the types of markup we accept for abstracts. The most clear, just flat out yes, was for the providing citation type labels, followed up by, again, expanded abstract support, and then followed by multilingual metadata. The most no responses was for conference identifiers, which isn't surprising because that is specifically for identifiers for conference events, and not, that's only a small subset of our members who would be able to register those identifiers. I do feel they'll be useful for everyone because we can all connect the research objects that you're registering to a conference that they're related to. But there was also a clear no for multilingual metadata and abstract support. So I guess you either want it or you don't. No one's really ambivalent about that. But overall, all of the projects got yeses in the 50% and up range. So there were no clear, no, we don't want to do this, why are you wasting your time on this responses, which is great. Because we do on our end, we think they're all valuable and important, and we'll get to them. It's just a matter of what order we do them in. When the survey has closed, I'll do a more detailed analysis, and I'll do a blog post and perhaps other outreach about this so we can all learn about what we all want. I also asked basically an open question, what more can we support for you? And the responses were divided into 3 categories. New support for new types of records, so for new types of content or other research related objects. This goes along with the increase in data set registrations I mentioned earlier. If a lot of members, if there isn't a clear type to register their content under, like you can't register something as a journal article, book, dissertation, report. They'll just register it as a data set because it's the most flexible set of metadata. So we'd like to actually label those and have those represented correctly in our database. There's a need to support a range of objects like open educational resources, maps, zines, comics, a lot of references to humanities related content like music, maps. We were also asked to expand identifier support, which is something we definitely like to do. And there were also some requests to expand metadata for specific metadata field. The most requested thing overall was keywords. We get asked for this a lot, and in the past we haven't wanted to support this for various reasons, but I think it's worth taking another look at it in the context of the research nexus we're building. So some other things just to finish up on our radar, we do intend to add support for statements like data availability statements, acknowledgements, that sort of thing. We do, maybe not in the near term, but we do want to expand the journal level metadata we collect and include maybe peer review policies, that information on editorial boards. We want to expand support for versioning. That will probably wait until the NISO journal article versioning working group has their recommendations out, but that shouldn't be too long before that happens. And again, we are working with the preprints and grants and funding communities to expand support in those areas as well. Yeah, so if you haven't done the survey, please complete it and look for more information about the results and what we plan to do next. Thank you.